Alright guys, wanted to share some quick tips on crawling, how to move from an easy progression to an intermediate to an advanced progression. So I would consider an easy progression for crawling to be a bear walk, something like you'd see in gold medal bodies, GMB, and the bear walk elevates the hips, so you start in, if I was to just remain in a static position, this is downward dog in yoga. So all of these things are connected, all of these methods are connected. It's human movement, we just give them titles. So from a downward dog position, we're moving hands and feet. So this is quadrupedal movement. This is what crawling is based off of, quadrupedal movement. Hands, feet are all in contact with the floor. Humans are bipedal creatures, so when we're walking, that's bipedal locomotion. Now, with my hips elevated and my trunk at a 45 to the floor, it's less demanding for me to hold that position through the midsection. So if I were to drop down into a beast, knees are hovering above the floor, this is much more demanding for my midsection. It's not necessarily a better exercise, just a different exercise. And so this is way more demanding through the midsection to stabilize as you're moving opposite arm, opposite leg. Now, the lower you get to the floor as you're moving through these locomotion patterns, the harder it gets. The range of motion is you're at a disadvantage, your core is in overdrive, and some of the mechanics and sequencing just becomes more complex. So from a beast crawl, dropping down, so right away, I'm at essentially the bottom of a push-up. My hip is jammed up into my elbow. I'm reaching while I'm supporting with this right arm, and I'm just grazing the floor. And this low position is far harder than this beast crawl position versus this bear walk. Now, to be clear, I don't think any of those exercises are better than the other. Every single one of them has their place. I've been playing around with bear walks a lot lately because I think the fundamentals get skipped, and I think the fundamentals are essential for your movement development. So go back to the basics, work some of those patterns in a static posture before you even start to move. So assume this position and just stay there. See what you feel, okay? Get in downward dog. Try to get the heels down to the floor. Or even just assume a basic lizard crawl position. What do you feel when you're down here, okay? Instead of just moving into all the sexiness of crawling around on the floor, you've got to start at the basics. Hammer on those, do that daily, stay consistent, and you're gonna make a lot more progress, and you're gonna make better quality progress versus if you just skipped everything and went right to what's fancy and fatty and sexy. So give it a shot.